Kalena nati dirghena. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Granatascha svacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Granatascha svacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Please repeat.
Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam.
Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam.
Grinatascha svacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Grinatascha svacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi. Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Grinatascha
Svacheshtitam.
Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi.
You can chant the second line once again.
Grinatascha svacheshtitam.
Yes, something. Okay. Shraddhaya nityam. Grinatascha svacheshtitam.
Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi.
When you chant the shloka, better you chant slowly. No? Shrinvata Shraddha. By that way, you can read nicely. It's in English. It's not in Sanskrit. It's in English. So if you read slowly, then we can read. Shrinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Granatha. It's like that. Slowly. Shrinvata Nityam. Slowly we can read. Better slowly. Why fast? So much time is there.
Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Grinatascha svacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hridi.
Mataji's?
Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam. Grinatascha svacheshtitam.
Bhagavan vishate hridi.
Okay. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ke Jai. Shrinvataha. Of those who hear. Shraddhaya. In earnestness. Nityam. Regularly. Always. Granataha. Taking the matter. Cha. Also. Svacheshtitam. Seriously by one's own endeavor. Kalena. Duration. Na. Not. Atitirghena. Very prolonged time. Bhagavan. The personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna. Vishate. Becomes manifest. Hridi. Within one's heart. Translation. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. Purport. Cheap devotees or materialistic devotees of the Lord are very much desirous to see the Lord personally without meeting the requisite qualifications. Such third grade devotees should know well that material attachment and seeing the Lord face to face cannot go together. It is not such a mechanical process that the professional Bhagavatam reciters can do the job on behalf of the third grade materialistic pseudo devotee. The professional men are useless in this connection because they are neither self-realized nor interested in the liberation of the audience. They are simply interested in maintaining the material establishment of family attachment and earning some material benefits out of the profession. Maharaj Parikshit had no more than 7 days to live. But for others, Maharaj Parikshit personally recommends that one hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Nityam, always by one's own effort and with serious devotion also. That will help one to see the Lord Shri Krishna manifested in one's heart within no time. The pseudo devotee, however, is very anxious to see the Lord according to his whims, not making any serious effort to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and without detachment from material benefit. That is not the way recommended by an authority like Maharaj Parikshit, who heard and benefited by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Tat Sat. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Mandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shakrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitams Janamom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminithinam Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminithinam Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtar Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mama Vachamivam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akhila Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyamsya Hasta Charanaswaranam Shravanatra Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Mukam Karati Vachalam Bangalam Mangalayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Shatam Asadu Sadhu Tadayin Ati Nicho Chitakara Hana Munchita Kadachinmam Premna Hritkantayo Supuraha. So, we're reading the chapter 8 of Bhagavatam, Canto 2. We read previously the shloka number 3 and we're going to read shloka number 5. So, these 3 shlokas specifically describe the benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is questions by Maharaj Parikshit, and he is glorifying benefits of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is chapter entitled Questions. So his questions for eagerness to understand or hear Srimad Bhagavatam was glorified by Sukadeva Goswami as soon as he comes to speak about Bhagavatam. What is that verse? He glorifies the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. What is that verse? Verse which Sukadeva Goswami glorifies Parikshit Maharaj, that you are asking very glorifying questions, that you are eager to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. First. Varyaneshate prashna krito lokahitam mahat. Then? I also forgot. Krito lokahitam mahat. I forgot. I was remembering, come on. Varya neshite prashna kito loka hitam Atmavit samvitah pumsan. That I remember. Atmavit Kale, yes, Prayena Munaya Rajan Nivritta Vidisam, Tasmad Bharata Samad, Shuddhavyadini. Yes, Varyaneshite Prashna Krito Loka Hitam Ripa Atmavit Samatta Pumsan, Shotavyadishu Yatparaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. So this is what we are reading. So we are reading, it's so auspicious so glorifying to read every day the nectar. That's why it is said, it is Nigama Kalpatarur. Of course, it's there. Bhagavatam Acharyas explain the hearing is like, not like the water, flowing of the water. If you observe the water flowing from the top, it frills down. It cannot have a constant flow. But the honey flows constantly if you pour honey. If you pour honey like anything, it flows constantly without any disturbance. So it's like that. So Hari Rasa Madira Madati Matta. So Hari Rasa Madira, it is Madira, Madhu. So, but there are qualifications. So here, qualifications for making the Supreme Personality of Godhead enter in our hearts are being enunciated by Maharaj Parikshit. What are they? Shrunvataha. First we should hear, to those who hear. And Shrunvata means hearing from bona fide source. You can extend like that. Shraddhaya. Shraddha means hearing with full faith, utmost faith, full earnestness. Here it is said, full earnestness, full affinity of earnestness. And Nityam, always, regularly. As Prabhupada says in Nashta Prayesha Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Shloka, that one should attend the classes of Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. So that is Nityam. And the next, first qualification is Shrunvata, hearing from bona fide source. Second one is Shraddhaya, earnestness, and Nityam, regularly, always. And the fourth qualification is Granatascha Swacheshtitam. Granata means taking the matter very seriously. Granatascha Swacheshtitam. If one does these four things, then Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. When I was reading the shloka, then something was triggering in my mind. There is some opposite word because Sanskrit is like that. So I was just searching, then somehow I got that in material world everybody does these four things. Shrunvataha, they hear a lot, every time that is going on. There is, in India we used to have, like now also World FM, Vivid Bharati. Tune it, that's all, constantly something. Here also FM stations are there, I think. So there is this FM channel, ladies, there is this called RJs, radio jockeys. That means you should always speak, going on continuously, speaks. You should be a very nice speaker. So they speak a lot. Shraddhaya, they have so much of devotion and so much of attachment, so much of earnestness, so much of eagerness to speak. And Nityam, always they speak, regularly. It is there, this one. They write so much songs, so much lyrics, so much going on. Every day. There is one channel wherein describes what is the stats of everything. So in that, how many people are getting accidents, cancer. I used to see how many songs are getting released, how many lyrics are being written. So many people write so many songs. So like that Nityam. And Granatasya Swacheshtitam. They are so much eager they take the matter very seriously. They take it very, but they don't understand that Kalena, no, Ati Dirghena, no. You should read like this, Kalena Dirghena, because of this prolonged, in one way we can read it by prolonged endeavor of doing all these four things, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. But by nonsense, prolonged Vishate Hridi, what will happen? Kalena Dirghena, na Ati Dirghena, Kalena Ati Dirghena, Aghavan Vishate Hridi. Not Bhagavan. Aghavan. You'll be surprised, you are surprised, but I am not surprised because this Aghavan word is there in Bhagavatam in many, many places. Many, many devotees have said this. What is the meaning of Aghavan? What is the meaning of Aghavan?
Not the Supreme Personality.
That's it, that is what is the understanding, but what is meant by Aghavan?
Someone who's
Okay,
sinful.
Bhagavan, one who possesses the opulence, 6 opulences or fortunes. Aghavan, Agha means a person who is filled with sins. Agha means Aghasura. Aghasura means sinful demon. So, Agha means sinful. So that's why Supreme Person, and even there are shlokas, I just listed so many shlokas. The Supreme Personality is God as Agha Mor Dasa. That means Agha Marsoda. That means that who offers freedom from all reactions of sin. And other one is Agha Bhidaha. That means one who vanquishes all the sins. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in other place in Bhagavatam, I have written the place, but you can Agha Grir. That means one who vanquishes the sin. Agha Marshanam. Aghauga Marshanam. One who destroys the sin. Aghagnena. That means, it is said in the 4th canto, it is said that when the pure devotees touch anybody, I remember this particular word when in the airport when Maharaj touched me like this, when we are going, Maharaj just did like this. Then immediately, I remembered Aghagnena. This word is there. By the touch of the pure devotees which drives away all sinful activities, especially by the lotus hand. When the lotus hand, that is why when Dhruva Maharaj, he wants to speak, he wants to glorify the Supreme Lord. After 6 months of doing tapasya, disturbing all the 3 worlds, he wanted to glorify the Lord, but he was stammering, he was unable to. Then immediately the Supreme Lord touched with his conch shell. He does that. Yonta pravishya mamavacham ivam prasuptam. Krishna Personality of God entered into his heart. Yonta pravishya mamavacham imam Sanjeeva, it's like the Sanjeevani, it entered. Sanjeeva yatya akhila shakti dharaswadhamna. Anyamsa hasta charanas shravanatvagaadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubbam. Many Bhagavata pravaktas, and they recite this shloka because we can't speak anything. We don't have the Shakti. Unless and until the Supreme Lord is not Godhead, through the good disciplic succession, through the parampara, through the Brahma Nadi comes like that, and through the parampara, it enters the heart, then we may endeavor to speak some, that itself we are very difficult for us. So it's like that. We are having Agha sitting in our hearts. Although Supreme Personality of Godhead is sitting, but he is being covered. So, of course, this is what Agha. So, our whole endeavor is to, the Prabhupada said in one lecture that the opposite of Bhagavan is Aghavan. So, everybody is Aghavan. Nobody wants to become Bhagavan. Prabhupada says. Nobody wants to become Bhagavan. Of course, Prabhupada writes again says, of course nobody can become Bhagavan, but everybody can become like Bhagavan, that is godly, Prabhupada says. He clarifies that. So, the whole Bhagavatam is meant to make us fixed in Krishna consciousness. If we become fixed in Krishna consciousness, these 4 things are required. So, in one place, in the 4th canto, 12th chapter and 44th verse, Prabhupada writes how to approach Bhagavatam, how to read Bhagavatam. I want to read that. What is it? Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 12th chapter, because we don't have anything, so I want to, I will only read it. So Prabhupada, in the whole purport, he explains in simple words, the same thing is already explained in his preface, introduction. If you have read preface, the same thing. But this particularly, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Srimad Bhagavatam means everything in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether we hear the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord, or we hear about the character, reputation, and activities of the devotees, they are all one and the same. Neophyte devotees simply try to understand the pastimes of the Lord and not very interested in hearing about the activities of his devotees, but such discrimination should not be indulged in by any real devotee. If you say Bhagavatam in India, generally people don't know, or they think that it is just Krishna Leela. I used to think Bhagavatam means just Krishna Leela and mainly Vastra Harana Leela or Rasa Leela, or these only Leelas and Krishna. And people have this misconception, when somebody has named a Krishna, means they see, in a very naughty, crooked way, mischievous manner like that. So people have this misconstrued idea. They don't know Bhagavatam is full of canto after canto. Prabhupada explained. So Prabhupada is saying, sometimes less intelligent men try to hear about the rasa dance of Krishna and do not take care to hear about other portions of Srimad Bhagavatam, which they completely avoid. They are professional Bhagavata reciters who abruptly go to the Rasa Leela chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam as if other portions of Srimad Bhagavatam were useless. This kind of discrimination and abrupt kind of Rasa Leela pastimes of the Lord is not approved by the Acharyas. A sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam, for the beginning verses describe that it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. When it is the ripened fruit, and fruit which doesn't have any skin nor the seed, and it is solidified, semi-solidified, liquefied. That is what Acharyas explain. It is like semi-solidified fruit, and the nectar is flowing, still it is solid. So devotees should not try to avoid even a word of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the great sage Maitreya, here Maitreya is speaking, therefore affirms that the Bhagavatam is samantam satam, approved by great devotees. So this is, so here two words are there, Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the meaning of Srimad? What is the meaning of Srimad? You are telling, oh wow, great, thank you. Of course we should not say like this, I'm sorry.
Intoxicated with opulence.
Sorry?
Intoxicated by opulence.
Okay. Srimad means illustrious, splendid, beautiful. And Bhagavatam means in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Bhagavan in relationship with the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Personality of God is called Bhagavan, and in relationship with Bhagavan are called, who are they? The devotees are called Bhagavat. So it is the description of the devotees of the Lord. That's why it is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Another place Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is the consciousness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagavatam is the consciousness of Lord Krishna. I was just startled to read that. Krishna consciousness, the consciousness is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is what is the Bhagavatam. So now four things. Shrunvataha, hearing from bona fide souls. So we are in this human form of life. Asitim Chitaram, in Padma Puran there is a verse, it's a big verse. I don't know whether I can pull it up or not. Asitim Chitaram Shaiva Lakshyam Tvam Jivajatishu Brahmebhi Purusham Prapyam Manusham Janma Parjayat. It is said that it is very difficult to attain the human form of life. It is very easy to become a sinful person, but very difficult because it takes so many lifetimes to automatically, of course it is automatic in one sense, the material nature has been in that way. Asitim Chitaram Shaiva Laksham Tvam Jiva Jatishu. That Jiva Jatishu, he transmigrates from one body to another body and comes to the human form of life. But tadapi apalatam jata. It said even after getting the human form like Govinda Charanadvayam, it is very, very difficult, it is very, very rare to get the lotus feet of Govinda. How to get the lotus feet of Govinda? Unless and until one lends his ears. Because everybody has ears. All the living entities have ears. We see every living entities have ears. But A human form of life, these two ears are always open and the mouth is always
Close.
shut. It's very startling, huh? And it's always open. So always the the vibrations. So the two things which are rare in human form of life. Ladhva sudurlabam idam bahusambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam apiyadira turnam yateta napateta maniritya yavad nishreyashaya vishaya kalutarvatrasyat. That means very difficult to attain human form of life because one cannot get these human ears so that one can make enter the spiritual sound vibration coming from the lotus mouth of the pure devotees. And other one is one can ask the questions. That is what is the title. So other living entities cannot ask the question. They cannot ask the question. The Brahma Jigyasa, Ataha. That's why it is said in the first aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra. Ataha. Now you got the ears to hear about the Supreme Personality. Brahma Jigyasa. So now you get the endeavor. Till now you are Jigyasa. Jigyasa means the eagerness was there for all these senses. Indriyani paranyahor indribhya panam manasastu paro buddhi. You have always this endeavor other than Brahma Jigyasa. You put your mind, body, words, everything into so many other things, but you are never happy. So now in this human form of life, you have the eyes to hear, which are open, and mouth to speak. So there are many doctors. The scientific field or the medical science has improved to that extent that there is a connection to develop between ears, nose and throat. ENT specialists. But the pure devotees are EHT specialists. What is that? They don't know. Prabhupada writes this, and I was trying to contemplate on this. Prabhupada writes in Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhakti Upadhi. What is that? Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke? Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Here he writes, Prabhupada writes that human logic fails. Prabhupada writes, human reason fails to understand how by serving the book Bhagavatam and from hearing from book Bhagavatam and serving the Bhagavata devotee, how one's heart can be purified. How is that possible? It cannot be understood through human logic. So the devotees are EHT specialists. That means they one who hears and the pure devotee speaks, that's all. Transformation of heart begins. What is that? Something happens which nobody can understand. That's all. That boy was asking, that mason, he was seeing each and every picture, I was also eager to go to him and ask what you are seeing, what is he trying to figure out, what is he trying to see. Each and every picture is different for him. He's seeing cow in every place. So he is eager because they eat cows, The point is he's seeing cows. Cows are so sacred. And when I told so many things about cow, he was so much shocked. So it's like that. When we came to Krishna consciousness, everything was so brightened, enlightened. We used to see everybody as a pure devotee, walking Bhagavatam, living, breathing Bhagavatam. Prabhuji, I want to be like you. I want to be. Then slowly, Aghavan entered. So the point is that pure devotees are very expert in speaking and hearing. Pure devotee means they are expert in hearing also. Prabhupada's spiritual master, his divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, because he has heard from me. So that's why I want to give initiation. If you remember, I think, those all instances where everybody left. Prabhupada was just sitting in the Vrajamandal Parikrama, everybody left. He is eager to hear from me. So Prabhupada showed that from first itself. He was attached to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. To hear from him. Although Prabhupada said, I was never understanding even a single word which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to speak. But I was eager to hear from my spiritual master. So these are the qualifications. So Shrunvataha means these all are intertwined. It is not that just Shrunvataha, Shraddhaya, Nityam, separate. It's intertwined. So Shrunvata means hearing from bona fide source. Why people hearts don't change? But it's like Prabhupada writes in the purport. Yet the professional men are useless. Why professional? The people go to. Of course, I wanted to explain what is this professional men. Like Ali Krishna Prabhu was saying, I don't know who are these. They never saw these Bhagavata Saptaha readers. They're big. In Vrindavan, you'll be startled to see big billboards in North India, full of North India, many places. Mostly in whole of Uttar Pradesh, whole of Ayodhya, whole of Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Vrindavan, whatnot. Every place you can imagine, Gujarat. Every place you have this, nowadays everywhere, even in South India also Bhagavata Saptaham, they say this, even in Tamil Nadu, even in Andhra also the Saptaham, nobody says Saptaham, nobody has, this is a coined word, but point is that these are like the people who, they conduct big, wherein lakhs and lakhs of people, they come to hear, it's called Kathavachak. He is called as Kathavachak or Kathakar in another words. Katha means he speaks on Srimad Bhagavad. They do Shiva Katha, they do Durga Katha, they do Ram Katha also, but Bhagavad Katha also they do. So mainly it revolves around Rasa Leela, Krishna's pastimes, all these things. So the problem is that the whole thing goes in a very dramatized way. They have these musical instruments going on at one side, and always the violin, the sarod. I don't know whether you heard of this musical instrument called sarod. Very nice sarod or sarangi. There is one more instrument, sarangi. These are all very soothing instruments of Indian classical music. These are very difficult to play also. It's not so easy. Just one can play sarod or sarangi. So they are being played, and whenever he speaks about anything, even misery, he cries, even these are all dramatized like anything. And he sits on the so much big Vyasasana. It's a Vyasapit. This is called Vyasasana, Vyasapit. And before there is Laddu Gopal, there is Radha Krishna, even Gaurnitai also. And they make a big show. They have this Sherwani. Sherwani is one type of dress. And they have this full, it's like smelling attara. And you will be mesmerized to see. And after the whole Bhagavad Katha is happening, they get cash donations, they get even cars also they are offered. Even they are offered shoes, because he is a Bhagavata Vakta, and we have to offer shoes. They offer shoes. He gets so many shoes. He gets umbrellas. He gets a lot of sherwanis. So why their hearts, people's heart doesn't change? Because Prabhupada writes here that they are useless, they are neither self-realized. They know to keep a nice, in Telugu they say as, what is that? Vachaspati. They are very good at very good at very nice making flowery kind of words. Pleasing to the ears, that's all. This is just, it's like Prabhupada says, bellows of the air, it's like that, very soothing, but there is no effect, and they are not self-realized and interested in the liberation of the audience. They are not interested in the liberation of the audience. They don't bother whether audience are because they themselves are not interested in this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, the cycle of birth and death. So they take it as a business. So what they do? They get all these shoes, umbrellas, cash and all. They sell these shoes to the person who is already ready to purchase these shoes. Already a person is ready to purchase the umbrellas in nice wholesale price and get the money and purchase guns to their sons, to their grandsons, sons and all. That is what is the business. So it's like a big multi-crore business. If you want to do some business, we should think about that. So that's why in India, it's very easy to get money. One devotee was giving the class and he was saying, you should, to the youngsters he was speaking, and he said, why to endeavor a lot to read some C, C++, Java, Oracle, all these big things. Every Swamiji, every Kathakar earns around 1, 2, 3, around 4 crores. 4 crores means around 400, around 400,000, more than that, 40,000. Around $1 million. People here are struggling a lot. They are earning so many crores and crores. But what is the use? It's like the Vallabhacharya saying when he is moving, Vallabhacharya was going along with his Bharat Brahmana. He was doing it, there is so many, it is called Baitak. Baitak means there he sits and recites Bhagavatam, and his disciples hear. There are so many Baitaks are all over India are there. The Baitak means there are so many places where Vallabhacharya travelled and he used to sit and he used to recite Bhagavatam. Vallabha Sampradaya, they do that. So, when doing this Bharata Brahmana, that means circumambulating the whole of India, he saw his disciples saw one snake, big snake, is being eaten by lot of red ants. They were asking, how, what kind of sinful and how horrible it would be for the snake to, it is suffering a lot and the snakes are eating. He said this snake was the Guru. And this, what is that? These ants were his disciples. This is what is the problem of not hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, either from a bona fide source or not hearing properly. Sri Prabhupada, it was interesting to read that particular passage where Brahma gets bewildered. He created everybody and he created woman, his own daughter, by name. What is Brahma's daughter's name? I don't know, I have not written it. Vak. So Brahma's daughter name is Vak. So he got bewildered and he was running after her. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that, of course we know that it is not the pure devotee Brahma, but he writes that this happened before he heard Bhagavatam from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you would have heard Bhagavatam, he wouldn't have done this. What is that Bhagavatam? He heard from the Supreme Lord? The 4 shlokas, Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So this is the thing. So one has to hear with what? With Shraddha. What is the time? Okay. With Shraddha. What is meant by Shraddha? Shraddha means we know, the meaning is faith, yeah. But here the word Shraddha doesn't mean just the faith, or it is earnestness, yeah, but it's a very deep meaning. It is not as Komala Shraddha or anything like that. It is the Shraddha Shabdhe Sudruda Nischay. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. With that endeavor to hear, that Shraddha. That Shraddha is like the resolute in Krishna consciousness. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuranandana. Bhaushakahi anantasya buddhayo avyavasayat. Buddhayo avyavasayat. That means hearing with resolute. Ekeha kurunandana. That's what this Vyavasayatmika is. Even Krishna says in even the coming shlokas also, as he explains that one who has attached to the Veda Vadarata, that means flowery words of the Vedas. But again he says that Bhogaiswarya prasaktanam taya aparita chetasam Vyavasayatmika buddhir samadhau na vidiyate. So he again and again he says, one who has no resolute in Krishna consciousness, one who is resolute in Krishna consciousness, he is disturbed by bhoga, aishwarya, asakti. Then his Shraddha gets disturbed. Many places, Prabhupada writes, Krishna says, he's again and again he tells about the Shraddha. Specifically in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the 17th chapter, 3rd shloka, he explains what is meant by Shraddha. Just I wanted to read that. 17th chapter is the divisions of faith, anyhow is that. Krishna says that, O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be a particular faith according to the modes of nature. Shraddhamayoyam Purusho. So, here Prabhupada writes that here, down that. Yet, the word Shraddha or faith is very significant in this verse. Shraddha or faith is originally comes out of the mode of goodness. So here the Shraddha is not just out of goodness. It is the pure goodness. The Shraddha is in the platform of, it's in the transcendental. Vasudeva Sabdudam. What is that? Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabditam. That means it comes from the Vasudeva platform. It doesn't come from the platform of, even from the goodness platform. So, Prabhupada writes that one's faith may be in demigod or in some created God or on some material concoction. One's strong faith is supposed to be productive of works of material goodness. But in material condition of life, no works are completely purified. They are mixed. So it's not that every time the Shraddha is always in the goodness. It always changes. It always mixes up. Just like in the next shloka of this shloka, it is said that Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Bhavam Suroruham Dunoti Srimalam Krishna Shalilasya Yatha Sharat. Just like the muddy water. Sometimes muds reside down the water, sometimes it comes up, sometimes it closes. So it's like this always that it is, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in Madhur Karma, it is like the Taranga Rangani, the Shraddha of a sadhaka or who is in the stage of sadhana bhajana or sadhana bhakti, he is always like the Taranga Rangani, the waves of the frequencies, up, down, it's all not constant, it's not nishtha, it's not yet attained nishtha, it always moves up and down, up and down, up and down. So, but it's like that. So, but here the Shraddha, what Parikshit Maharaj is trying to invoke in us is the Shraddha is in the mode of pure goodness. So, it is said here, they are not in pure goodness. Pure goodness is transcendental. In purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, when one can understand that Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, of course we will try to understand what is meant by actually Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, because already the Supreme Personality of Godhead is residing in one's heart. Again, what is that we want to put the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the heart? Why he wants to enter into our heart? How he enters there? Of course, these are there, but it is the pure goodness is transcendent, is purified consciousness or purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of God. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. Why we are not able to progress in Krishna consciousness? Why we are having so many problems? Why we think this, I don't want to go to this temple, this devotee is a problem, that devotee is a problem, this is a problem for me. We grind, always our ears grind, always the mind grinds all these things. Oh, this is not good for me, that is not good for me, this place is not good, that area is not good, this devotee is not good, that place is not. So always it's grinding is not. These are all mental material platforms. Mental platform. Why we is there? Because we don't have the utmost faith or shraddha. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it is not there. Sometimes we are too much happy, sometimes we are too much depressed. Devotees don't want to, sorry to say, I should not say this, but don't want to put the score because today I didn't distribute Bhagavatam. Okay, I don't want to put the score. Sorry, this observation was, the point is, we are doing for Krishna. Sometimes Krishna is the supreme controller. We are desiring, yes, we want to give. But sometimes we may not be able to give. Krishna is the supreme controller. So, yeah, it is also grinding. So Krishna is the controller. We may have it's not that our faith is disturbed, but continuously our endeavor. That's why it is said Nityam. Even though so many things happen, we may have so many problems, but that all, just like the Chataka bird. Just Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's like the Chataka bird. Chataka bird we never saw. There is no birds now. I don't know where they are existing. Maybe in some other planets they are existing. Those birds wait for the thunder and lightning. When the thunder and lightning come together, there is one water falls. I mean to say the rain, it rains. So at that time they drink that water. They wait. Chataka bird waits until that time. So like that, we should wait. We can't force ourselves. We can't force Krishna. Yes. That's why Brahmaji says the first qualification for the pure devotional service is Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva shanmukalitam bhavatiya varta sthane stita. What is that? Shrutika tam tanuvan mano viyaprayaso jita jitopi apiteis trilokyam. Jita, what is there? So, who can conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that person who is humble enough to accept whatever may be the situation. Tatteno kampam susumikshamana bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbi vidadam napaste jivetayo mukta pade sadayavag. That's why Prahlad Maharaj, you can see Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, it's not that everything came into their hands. It's not that Krishna life has become just like that. Oh, that's all. Oh, we are here with 15 devotees. Vishnu Chitta Prabhu, Mahotsav Prabhu, and all the devotees over here putting effort after effort, day after day after day. They are everybody, even International Society for Krishna Prabhupada established. He put every day in, day out effort. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he put effort. So that's why he is put effort in such a way that his Shraddha became Krishna Grahastha. Narad Muni explains Prahlad Maharaj is just like some people are in their astrological charts. Each and every planet takes over his mind. Oh, Shani, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn is a problem. Rahu, Ketu is a problem. But for Prahlad Maharaj, Krishna Graha is a problem. Krishna planet. He is absorbed by Krishna Graha. Narad Muni says. That's why, because seeing his eagerness, Prahlad Maharaj was called as Govinda. What is that word? I forgot. I wrote that word. Oh, Krishna. I didn't write. He is called as Govinda. Alangina, some word is there. So Krishna himself embraced him. He is embraced by Lord Govinda, seeing his eagerness. So that's why Yasya deve para bhakti yata deve tatha gurau tasyaite kadidai artha prakashante mahatmana. It is very difficult to get the prakashan. It's not so easy. So that's why we should the endeavor should be that, yes, Srila Prabhupada in his Markine Bhagavata Dharma, how I can, a person, can you imagine a person who is a pure devotee coming all the way to some place which is what he has not seen naked people, he has not seen who are drinking, eating meat, they are breaking all 4 regulative principles. And he comes to the Boston next one and he prays to the Supreme Lord. How I can explain? But I have faith in your holy name and faith in my words of my spiritual master. That's why he recites the whole Bhagavatam verses. Shunvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti susratam Nashta prayesha badreshu nityam Bhagavata sevaya bhavati uttama shloke bhavati naishtiki. Then Tata rajastamo bhavo kamalobhadayaschaye chetayete ranavidyam Stittam satve prasidati. Then evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogitah bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate vidyate hridaye gantis chhidyante sarva samchayaha chiyante chasya karmani drishta evan manishware. So these are the shlokas which Prabhupada writes. So these, so vidyate hridaye, unless and until that hard knot. That's why in Bhagavatam, pure Lord Krishna is glorified. Pure devotees are glorified. Pure devotional service is glorified. And the part of the glorification is to condemn in what way one cannot. What's that? I just wrote that. Part of the glorification is to make the point, to point out the defects by which people don't like to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. What is said? It is said, Savirvara Ushtakharai Sanstuta Purusha Pashu Nayat Karna Patopeta Jatu Nama Gadagraja. So the Karna, they don't want to hear the Gadagraja. Gada means the club. Agraja. Gada means Balaram. Agraja is of course, is Balaram, about Balaram. Actually, this was about Balaram, about Krishna, Gada Agraja. So the point is that, so those who don't want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why in Bhagavatam it is said, the hearts of those people is called as, the ears of those people who don't hear Srimad Bhagavatam are considered as the ear holes in which who resides? I don't know where you are. Okay, ear holes in which that snakes reside. Ear holes in which the whole Bhagavatam verses are there, in which each and every body part is explained. One who doesn't hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, his ears are considered as the, snake holes. His heart is considered as the steel framed heart. Steel framed. His head is considered as the heavy burden. It's simply a heavy burden, because it doesn't bow to the Supreme Personality of Godhead after hearing, oh, Krishna is doing so much for me, why don't I bow my head? At least say thanks from this tongue, because it is like the frog croaking, like always speaking something. Maharaj was so much disturbed in Bharuch when we kept Maharaj in one place at the night. Frogs were continuously croaking. You put me here, but frogs were totally, every time it was croaking, calling for the snakes to eat up. So it's like the eyes are like the plumes. Where are the plumes? Peacock feather. It's like, looks like the very nice eyes, but it is what is that? It's like resemblance of some eyes. It's of no use, but it looks good. The legs are like the what? Those who don't know, it is like the tree trunks. It's like as Prahlad Maharaj explains in this material, is graha grastha. Graha grastha. It is the grastha. Grihastha means what? The graha asta is just fixed in one place unless and until he is Krishna conscious. And his whole body is like the what? He is walking dead. He is like a dead man. And his heart is like the steel framed. So this human form of life is meant to hear about all these things in such a way that we become attached to Krishna. So Krishna is glorified, pure devotees are glorified, pure devotional service is glorified, even devotees glorified, Brahmaji is glorified, everybody is glorified. And it is also cut. That's why when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the lotus mouth of the pure devotees, Nityam, it is all. That's why it is called Nityam. Nityam means always. Always means what? Always means by regular attendance. So by that means it's like the addiction. Sometimes we know, like people get. I know in India they say that, "Arey, marna tu, take one shot of cigarette." Friends give like that. It's like that. One shot. It's like that. First time when you take the hey, take fully, That's all. No, dhire, slowly. It should be taken very slowly. They have this Revlon paper nicely, and then and slowly when you take it, you get the kick. So it's like the addiction. Prabhupada writes these words: addiction, infection. These words Prabhupada uses. So the point is that one should get addiction. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavya najatachit, sarve vidhi nishetishyor, etayor eva kinkara, kim karomi. What can I do? What, please, kim karomi. Aham karomi, ahankar. Ahankar means aham karomi. That's why aham grupasana. That means we want to enjoy themselves. So this is king karomi. So one who's servant of these, that smartavya satatam Vishnu, he wants to always satatam kirtayantam. What is that? Satanam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dridavratah. You see? The dridavratah. Namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Prabhupada used to defeat Mayavadis by telling nitya yukta upasate. That means even after going to the spiritual world, one continues to hear, chant and glorify. One doesn't lose his individuality just by thinking that dandagrahena matrena naro narayana bhavet. You become Narayana, that doesn't mean you become, what is that? You exhaust your individual existence. No, you don't become Narayana first and you don't exhaust your individual because it is Nitya Yukta Upasate. So, Granatasya Swacheshtitam. Next is, so taking the matter very seriously. So, taking the matter seriously means by hearing from pure devotees, so many things happen. It is said in Bhagavatam that one who is serious wants to hear that thing which is very, very, not pleasing to hear. That is meant by the eagerness. Many people, when we speak about death, when we speak about so many things which people, it's very difficult to hear. They just get out of the Bhagavatam classes. They can't sit. My father's, I should not say so-called father, so-called my biological father, he heard, I sent him Prabhupada's lectures. By hearing Prabhupada's lectures, sometimes maybe some people, because I heard Prabhupada's lectures and because I read Prabhupada's books, but nothing went into my ears, or I don't know what happened. 1 year I read, but by hearing Prabhupada's lectures, it became so much so that I used to hear 7, 8, 10 lectures a day. 10 lectures a day, what? 10 hours, hearing. So then I thought, okay, we'll give Prabhupada's lectures. And he heard very eagerly, with full Shraddha, Nityam, Ganastasya Swacheshtitam, with full endeavor. But he counted how many times Prabhupada told rascal in one lecture. Can you imagine? Huh? Can you imagine? This is the people. What happens? What is that? Tatas dussangam utsrijya. It said in 11th canto of Bhagavatam, and Krsna speaks this Bhagavatam to Uddhava. He says that tatas dussangam utsrijya. What is that? Next. Satsu sajjeta buddhiman. Santayeva chindante. Manovyasangam uktibhi. The manovyasangam. Uktibhi. He just cuts through. Prabhupada is like that. Prabhupada, when he speaks, he cuts through your heart, he cuts through your ego, he cuts through your intelligence, he cuts through your material mentality, he cuts the lust, he cuts through your kama, krodha, lobha, he cuts and enters the soul. That's why we tell, hear Prabhupada's lectures, hear Prabhupada. That's why when we initially come to Krishna consciousness, we were told, hear Prabhupada's lectures. Of course, every time we should hear Prabhupada's lectures. But the point is that should hear Prabhupada's lectures in such a way that we become so much so that we can find the difference. Otherwise, we will be bewildered. So many people say so many things. Now YouTube channel is full with so many people. People sit in the bathroom also, they want to hear. Ding, ding, oh, Kirtan's very nice. Till night 11 o'clock. No? They are hearing. Yeah, fine, but 11 o'clock we should sleep and get up for Mangalarti so that we will not sleep in the chanting. So the point is that we should be eager. We should be eager. So that's a Dussangam Utsrijya, Satsu Sajjeta Buddhiman. So what is that? The 4 things happen. So throws away bad association. So he throws away bad association. That's a Dussangam Utsrijya, Satsu Sajjeta Buddhiman. He gets the intelligence. Because he associates with pure devotees, he heard from the pure devotees. So he become attached to the saintly infection of association. He wants to associate with devotees. He's become infected by their touch. He wants to touch them. He wants to hear from them again and again. He becomes attached to them. So and then next what happens? His material miseries are cuts off. Even Chanakya Pandit says this. What is he says? He says that Tyaja durjana satsangam, bhaja sadhu samagamam. What next? Kuru punyam ahoratram. This line everybody knows. Smaranityam anityatvam. Actually it comes from this Chanakya verse. So he says that Tyaja durjana. What is the effect of hearing from a pure devotee? He said Tyaja durjana satsangam. We say, yesterday also, the shloka was, Dadati pratignati guhyamakyati prachiti. Guhyamakyati prachiti. Why? Previously also, sadhu sangha, sangatyagat, janasangat chalaulyam cha, sangatyagat. So many times this, everywhere the Bhagavatam association of sadhu sangha, sarva shastri goy, and every time bhakti moola. What is that? Krishna bhakti moola? Hey, sadhu sangha. Yeah. So why? Because Tyaja Jurjana Sangha. Why? What will happen is that the Aghavan enters into our hearts. That Agha, the sinful, what is that? Aprarabdha phalam papam bijam kutam phalonmukham. The whole thing, avidya is, the whole cycle of avidya, to explain it will take lifetimes to explain. The whole thing is that how one dips down into the ignorance. Prarabdha, aprarabdha, bija, kuta. All these things are sinful reactions, it's like the bija form, seed-like form. That's why Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya, the bijas, Kama bija, Krodha bija, all the bijas, Karma bija, Jnana bija, all these things are fried in the bhakti, in the Sankirtan Yagya. We have put so many bijas, you see, so many bijas we have put yesterday, so many seeds, they will never sprout. Because they are put in the yagya, fire yagya. Of course, they are put in water and put in this one, they might sprout, that is another thing. But the point is that if it is fried and put in the, if it is sowed, it will never fructify. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham sundanti karshneya. It's like the sun. It's like the sun. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham sundanti karshneya niharam iva bhaskara. So today is the Ramachandra Vijayosatsav, the victory of Lord Rama. Sri Aghavan Dasaradatmaja Vaknam Prameyam Sitapatim Raghukulanvaya Ratna Deepam Ajanu Bahum Aravinda Dalayataksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami. This is what is Lord Rama's prayers is. Sri Aghavan, he is Raghu, the crown jewel of Raghu dynasty. Sri Aghavam Dasaratatmajam Aprameyam. He is Dasarada's, Priya. He is very dear to Lord Dasarath Maharaj. Either we are servant of Dasarath Maharaj or Dashanana, the 10-headed Ravana. Dasharatha, who is very expert in fighting with 10 horses, or 10 directions, he can release the arrows. So Dasharathatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim, he is the husband of Mother Sita. Sitapatim Raghukulanvaya Ratna Deepam, he is the jewel lamp of Raghu dynasty. Raghukulanvaya Ratna Deepam Ajanubahum, his hands or the arms are so long. Ajanubahum Aravinda Dalayataksham, his eyes are like the lotus petals. Aravinda Ajanubahum Aravinda Dalayataksham Ramam Ramante Yogino Anante Satyanande Chidatmani Iti Ramapadena Asau Parabrahma. Prabhupada writes this shloka in which purport of the Sri Bhagavad Gita? It's a very important verse, and this verse and the purport also, but
The Brahman platform in the neither laments
no. It's a very important verse. This particular shloka of Ramante Yogina, that means Rama means the supreme pleasure. The yogis are endeavoring for that pleasure every time. I already told, pleasure. What is the shloka in Bhagavad Gita? Sorry? No. Yehi sansparshacha bhoga dukkhayone yevate adyantavantu kaunteya nateshu mateshu ramate. Here word ramate is there. That's why Prabhupada writes in the purport that this ramante yogina, you can refer it to that. 522. So Prabhupada writes this particular shloka. So Rama means who gives supreme pleasure. Ramante yogina, Ramam Nishachara. This is very important. Nishachara, the demon, he kills. Vinashakaram namami. I pray to that supreme personality. So the Madhvacharya, his appearance day is today. Yeah. So he is very famous. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 things from every sampradaya. 4 sampradayas. Ramanuja sampradaya, Madhva sampradaya, Nimbarka sampradaya and Vishnu Swami sampradaya. What are the 4 things? What are the 2 things which he took from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accepted or regarded that these are like supreme teachings to be accepted in his sampradaya? What are the two things?
Defeat of Mayavad.
And? Yes, defeat of Mayavad, impersonalism. And the other one?
Worship of the deity.
Yes, worship of the deity. These are the two things. So if you want to read in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu book, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj writes in the appendix the whole paragraph as to what are the two things, teachings which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received from from all sampradayas. So many things can be spoken, so many, so much is there in this small verse, but with my small, of course, is Shravana is the heart of, as Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, the Harikatha is the Swarup Shakti of Harinam. So if you want to chant the holy name of the Lord, so we should understand that the heart of chanting the holy name is in the here. So on that also we can speak so many things. It doesn't never end. So many verses, so many things are there. But with my limited knowledge and with the limited time, I could say a few things here and there. If devotees, actually, I wanted to if time is there. Time is not there. There are 11 forms of attachment one can develop, which Narad Bhakti Sutra, Narada Muni explains how one can develop in 11 kinds. It's very simple shloka, and then he explains the 11 forms of attachment, how one can be attached to Lord Krishna. And if we meditate on each and any of these forms of attachment, then our life will be successful. There's so many verses like that. So now time is not there. So up to all the devotees who want to add anything or comment or anything. I saw first Govindanand Prabhu.
Maybe you just read this 11 forms of attachment?
These 11 forms of attachment? Yes. I can read. Before that, anybody has any other question?
Matsya Prabhu told me a while back that apparently Lord Chaitanya appeared before Madhva Acharya and they had like a whole conversation.
What is that?
Lord Chaitanya appeared before Madhva Acharya and they had that conversation.
Yeah, it is there in Navadip Dham Mahatmya by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay.
That's also there with Ramanuja Acharya.
That's all there. That's there with even Shankaracharya also. Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, they all visited Sri Navadip Dham and had darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the vision of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Wow. Maybe we don't care whether other sampradayas accept it or not. Because I particularly heard this particular conversation of Srila Prabhupada in Hyderabad. Prabhupada mentions and devotees ask that other sampradayas also chant Hare Krishna. They also, of course, chant Hare Krishna means Krishna takes Krishna's name. They know Krishna. But Prabhupada specifically that unless and until one understands Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one cannot understand Krishna. It's very, very difficult. What Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's presentation of Krishna consciousness and others' presentation of Krishna consciousness is in a different kind of platform. It is Radha's Krishna. It's not just Krishna. We are Gaudiyas, not Krshnas. Of course, we are Krshnas as well. Krshna means one who is worshipper of Krishna, but we are Gaudiyas. Gaudiyas means one who worship of Srimati Radharani. Okay. Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
You ask Mataji's one question.
Shilam.
You can read that 11 forms.
Okay.
Mataji, do you have anything?
Yeah, Mataji's, you have any question to ask? No. It will take time to. I can tell or I can send in the. I can send in the ashram because time is up. I can see that, but okay, 1 second. It's good to read it. Okay. Other books. Okay.
You can send in group chat.
Okay, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.